Hi, okay, so this is my last logbook for this project. I have been typing them, but I broke my arm, and so that has proven to be far too difficult. And I wrote a bit of it and it just took forever. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna film it. Yeah, so a lot has happened. Tuesday, so, my target for today is to talk to my group about what last bits need to be done. This is my target because last week I sent out a full, easy to understand plan, but only one of my actors used it. I will start by thanking the person who had worked hard and then talking to the people who keep letting me down. This will help me get a distinction in planning and production because it shows I am able to make plans to make things easier for my actors and hold them to it with a firm hand. This will help me in the future because it shows I can successfully run a project and complete it against a deadline. So, yeah, the Friday before half term, I sat everyone down in a call and said, okay, here's my plan. I've made a film plan. It's all updated. Everything's there. Everything is like section A, section B, section C, and then everyone's names are at the top, and in their column is their line, their blocking almost, and camera angles and background and stuff. And we'd already discussed costumes, so I was like, hey, this is super easy, 2 videos a day is all I'm asking. If we do that all next week, then the last 2 weeks my second year actors can work on their own stuff and be editing their own stuff, which means they have extra time, because I know George was really stressed about it, which was why he wasn't doing as much for me. So I was like, okay, yeah, if you want to do that, then that's great. Yeah, they all said that was fine, and I was like, brilliant, that's amazing. And then that way I could dedicate my last 2 weeks to Amelia, who I knew I wasn't giving enough of my time to because I was so focused. And so I was like, right, okay, that way I've got that whole time to catch up on my theory and work with Amelia and be fully dedicated in her piece. Yeah, so on Tuesday of half term, I sent out for Lottie and George to be on a call with me at 9 o'clock in the morning to start talking about adding feedback from, adding Lydia's feedback to the physical theatre piece, the little sex scene thing in my thing. And so I was like, okay, cool, can we do that? And George, even though I'd asked him over the last 2 weeks several times, didn't go out and buy correct rope. He didn't even get any rope. He was using an iPhone charger. And I was like, okay, that's not good enough. And he was like, well, I can't go. I was like, right, okay. I was like, right, fine. So I took it into my own hands and I drove to his house and gave him the rope. I said, look, I'll be on call in a minute, make sure that you're ready. Here's the rope, let's go, let's do this. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. So we go on call, we started talking about it. I then let them do their own thing and start working on it together. So they did. Lottie was updating me, telling me it was going really well, and it was. She filmed it, sent it over to me. They used a metronome to keep time because I suggested it. And then George never really sent anything to me. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, Lottie, have you seen George? She said no. And I was like, okay. He said, I'll send it to you in the afternoon because I'm doing something. And I was like, that's fine. That's absolutely okay. I said, yeah, 100%. As long as it's sent today, I'm quite happy. And he was like, cool. So a couple of days go by and I haven't seen anything from him. I've seen a couple of other things that were needed, but I was like, hey, I really need section B, I need the other part of section B. I was like, come on. It wasn't happening. We got around to Tuesday the next week, so this week, and he hadn't done it. And so I said to him, like, where is it, what's going on? And he said, oh, well, I just haven't done it. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, I haven't been trying. I was like, hold on, you just say you haven't been trying. I was like, please, that's not nice. I was like, yeah, it's really upsetting, actually. I was like, okay, well, send it to me now, please. So eventually he did. And so we got that from him, but Alfie wasn't in that lesson on Tuesday, so I wasn't really sure what to do about him because he hadn't sent me anything. And then when he did, it was all in portrait, which I specifically asked not to do. So I was like, right, well, I can't use any of this content. You're also not in costume. I was like, yeah. So Wednesday rolls around, and my target for today is to film anything that Amelia asks of me. This is my target because it is her session and I know I'm not dedicating enough time to her, so I want to make sure that she knows that I'm ready to film and be in costume in all of her sessions so that she can let me know whatever she needs me to do. This will, I will achieve this by listening to her, understanding where she's coming from, reading the script ahead of time, learning the lines, and then sitting down to film. This will help me in the future because it shows that I am a dedicated actor, which therefore makes me more employable. This will help me get a distinction because it shows that I can have a comprehensive understanding of my character whilst performing. Distinction in practical skills, sorry. Yeah. So yeah, sit down, basically just film, oh, what did we film? We filmed scene 2 and parts of scene 3, and we did some screen recording and stuff like that of me like texting her and just little bits that she needed to get done, and so I was quite happy with that, and we just kind of left it. I didn't manage to do anything for my group the Wednesday morning because I was out doing shopping for people in the old people's home, because apparently that's something my mum needs me to help her with. Sorry, that sounded really horrible, but yeah, so I managed to do that and I'm really happy with how that went. She was really happy with the content, and so it was great. Thursday, so my target for today is to start editing more. I've already edited section A. I need to move on to section B now. I'm starting to get a little bit worried though about the storage on my computer. This is my target because I want to be able to finish my piece by tomorrow and send it to Lydia so that she has it in advance. I will achieve this by sitting down all day and editing whatever I have and chasing up on my actors to get the last little bits. This will help me in the future because it shows I'm organised and I can work against a deadline. And this will help me get a distinction in practical skills because it shows I can apply myself when needed and work under pressure. Yeah, so this didn't quite go to plan. I sat down to start editing and I had all of the content from Lottie. I think I had all of the content from George apart from like 1 or 2 little things, and so I was like, okay, I'm happy to start. And so I started going through section B and editing section B, and it looked really good, and I was like, yeah, this is good. And then I think, yeah, Wednesday night I found out that Alfie left college, and I was like, okay, that's great. So I was really upset and I was like, right, I'm not really sure what to do now. I don't know how to go about this. And so I was like, right, I can either throw a hissy fit about this or I can sit down like an adult and figure out how I'm going to fix this, because I need that character or characters. I need a male role, otherwise it doesn't quite play right in the piece. And so I was like, right, okay. So I called Jack, and he was like, yeah, I'll be at your house in 5 minutes. And I was like, you're amazing. We sat down together, he looked over the script, looked over the film plan. He was like, yeah, I'm happy to film this for you. I can get it to you by tomorrow. Which ended up not being the case because he had a lot of lectures, which is fair enough. I asked him very, very last minute. And so I was like, yeah, whenever you can get it to me, I'm happy. I messaged Liz and said, look, this is what's happened. I don't think I'll be able to get it to you by Friday because I haven't got all my content. And yeah, so on and so forth. So I'm sat there, I'm editing, spoke to Jack, everything's sorted, and I'm like, okay, it's slower. I don't think I'm going to get it in by tomorrow, but I think I'm getting somewhere. So I started to feel a bit better about myself. So Friday, my target was to finish editing to send to Lydia. This is my target because Lydia has said that she wants our finished pieces by Friday so that she can look them over, give feedback, then we can add it in the last week before we upload it. I will achieve this by trusting Jack to provide the pieces, to provide the pieces that I've asked for, sitting down and being dedicated to editing and making sure that I am open to anyone who might need me. This will help me get a distinction in practical skills and planning and production because it shows I can apply myself under pressure and that I can stick to a plan no matter what tends to go wrong. Oh, I just realised I'm problem solving. I should have written that down, but hey ho, problem solving too. This will help me in the future because it shows that even through trials and tribulations, I can solve a problem, get through it, and finish on a deadline. So Friday rolls round. It it's like the morning, we're starting editing, blah blah blah. So we're in a session, I turn off my microphone, and this is after like doing stuff for Amelia, filming for her. We filmed the other bit of scene 3 and the other bit of scene 4. Yeah, I sat down, got my computer out and was like, right, I'm gonna start editing. So I did. And then my computer basically exploded. Well, it didn't. It turned off and wouldn't turn back on. I freaked out. I was like, oh my god, this cannot be happening. I knew that my computer's small, doesn't have a lot of storage, and I told mum, and she went and got me a memory stick, so I had an external hard drive. So I tried that. It wouldn't work. Right, my computer was nothing was happening, and I was like, great. So in my lunch break, I got in my cousin's car, or my dad's car, with my cousin driving, and went to Plymouth, because my boyfriend said I could use his computer. So in my lunch break, I drove to Plymouth. I got there with my laptop still not working, with all of my work on it, but luckily I just moved over my stuff onto my memory stick, and so I was like, okay, this is fine, this is good. So I get there, and it's time for Jess's lesson. So I was like, right, okay, I'm going to do that. So I sat down. Well, I didn't sit down to do Jess's lesson because it's fitness, but I did Jess's lesson. Broken arm and everything. I'm quite proud of that. Yoga with a broken arm was quite interesting. Yeah. So we did that. And then the lesson was over, and I was like, right, okay, I need to try and figure this out. So I opened up my boyfriend's computer, and I was like, right, I think I've lost all my work, I don't know. Had to figure out what editing software I was using so that I could open what I'd already done. Finally got it to work. Spent all weekend editing, right? It got to like, I spent 3 hours on Friday editing, and then 2 on Saturday, but I had to go out and I had to like go shopping or something and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I was sort of like on Snapchat, and I sent like a little video like, oh guys, this is going so well, to my group on Snapchat, and Alfie sent me a Snapchat saying, oh, I need to film that stuff for you, don't I? I'll send that over to you in a minute. And I was like, I was under the impression you left. I had replaced you, I'm so sorry. And he was like, oh. I said, but if you can send them to me now, I'm happy to put you in it still. And he was like, oh yeah, that's fine. And I was like, okay. So I managed to relieve Jack of his duties, which was good because he was so stressed about it. And Alfie actually came through and sent it to me. So after all of this went down, one of my actors dropped out of college, my computer stopped working, I had to move house for the weekend. I managed to finish editing by like Monday, realised it wasn't long enough, then had an idea and was like, oh my gosh, right? I want real women to talk in my piece, real women to talk about what they've had to go through. So I was like, right, real women, who can I message? So I got Jazz from Coppice Theatre. I was going to get Connie, but she said it was too short notice, and I said that's fair enough because it was like the day before I had to go home. So I couldn't edit anymore after I went home. I had to just leave it there. So this is why I was finished by Tuesday. Yeah, I had my best friend, Lydia, and Sean. I had messaged a couple of other women and Perrin because I thought it'd be cool to get a transgender perspective, but I couldn't get it in time. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Managed to get all of this done. You know, did my lectures on Tuesday, finished editing, sent everything off. Well, I put it up on Google Drive and was like, yeah, I'm done, I'm happy. And I was actually really happy with the way that my piece ended. I really liked the way that I used music and all of that, and I'm happy with it mostly. There is a couple of things where I'm kind of like, okay, I wish that I had taken a male perspective in, because I think if I wasn't so stressed, I would have looked at a male perspective, definitely. And I wish I had now, because I think that it was a bit unfair to constantly be like, men are the worst, blah, blah, blah. But that's not what I was trying to do. George and Alfie had commented on the script and said, oh, these guys are really horrible. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it's because I'm trying to look at them. I'm looking at those specific guys. I'm not trying to say that all guys are. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with my piece. I'm happy with the work that I managed to do this week, even though 1,000 things went wrong. And I was in hospital for a bit as well, so that was fun. But yeah, all is well, and I'm really happy with the way my piece has ended up.